So there's a thing I like to call stage deafness, or a temporary tone deafness. It's when you get overwhelmed on stage and a lot of your skills just melt away. You're playing a show and the band before you took way too long to tear down, and you have to get on there and people are going, "Hey, hurry, we it's getting into our set time. We gotta play." You take a strum of your guitar or something, it's add a tune, and someone goes, "Just tune it by ear, hurry." You're left there going, "I could barely tell you my own name right now. I'm so flustered, and you want me to tune a guitar? It's not gonna happen." It's like your brain went into that fight or flight mechanism, and before you got there, your brain didn't think, "Hey, we should put tuning a guitar into the fight mechanism." It's like when you get flustered and you jumble up your words. It's not like you don't know how to speak, it's just your brain is so overwhelmed, so much information is coming at it, that you start to trip over your words. When in that state, it can be hard to focus and be some receptacle for amazing inspiration when soloing. Of course, the more you put yourself in that situation, the more you get on stage in horrible scenarios, the more you just kind of become comfortable with it. You understand, just ignore the person screaming at you. It's probably not a big deal. Just ignore this and just, relax and focus. But even then, some people just live in that moment, that divine moment, just a little bit easier than others do naturally. An astute listener might be able to tell the difference between a solo by someone who lives in that moment naturally and someone who might be struggling a little bit. There are also times when you might be learning new techniques or new concepts, and you might be able to conceptualize them in your mind, but not be able to execute them. Your fingers don't really know them yet. It's not that you can't hear it or imagine it, it's that you can't hear or imagine a brand new idea and then execute it simultaneously. I've had both of these problems over the course of my career, and I think a lot of people have. I would have loved to be some sort of musical genius who just hears things and does them immediately. That's not the case, and actually I found out over time that it's not the case for a lot of even the guitar giants that we respect. I'm not taking away from their playing or anything, but when you hear a written out solo versus a improvised solo by, say, Eric Johnson or Steve Vai or Brent Mason even, there is a little bit of a difference. They improvise fantastically, but the written out solos have they hit a little different. A possible solution to being overwhelmed or having a slower execution of inspiration would be to write out your solos. Recently, Brent Mason was on the No Guitar is Safe podcast and mentioned that he'd have 30 to 45 minutes to make a solo for a song. There's no way he's just turning on the record button and improvising until he gets magic. There's a little more thought that goes into it. He even mentioned later that the band would try to add really fantastic intros or solos or outros to really excite some of the musician listeners of country music. There's no way, especially as a collective, they were all just improvising greatness over and over and over and over again for 1,000 sessions. A lot of times they just had to work something up, especially if it's at a fast tempo. Not a lot of people are purely improvising at something like 240 beats per minute. I wanted to show you an example of two solos over the same backing music, one improvised and one written out. So the first solo was neat. It might be a little slower paced if I really want to hear what I want to play and then play it. And if the singer is saying, hey, I really want you to shred, just like constantly shred over the solo, just have it be completely fantastic. A lot of the shred, if I'm improvising, might become generic shred. The like wah, weedly wah, diddle, 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 whatever. And I might not be as thrilled about that, but I might be just doing my job. The second solo, however, I was able to work out certain techniques and concepts I found were interesting, thematic development, and a building to a fabulous ending. I actually wrote that solo for a song I played with a band when I first moved here. I played it for about a year and a half before that band ended. Every single time I played that solo, someone would clap. Someone would go, whoa, someone would, whatever. There was audience reaction basically built into the solo. It's nice sounding, it's musical, and it's impressive. Blah, 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 blah. I could count on that if I wasn't like winning over the audience personally. But, songs 1, 2, and 3. If we play that song 4, the tide would turn. Now, that doesn't happen every time you write out a solo. I got lucky that time, but that was the point of the solo. It just happened to be successful at what it was designed to do. I had just gotten here and I was told, you got to be on Instagram. You got to post cool stuff. And all the stuff I was saying on Instagram was really cool solos, obviously worked out prior. And I was like, well, if I'm going to compete with it, I'm going to have to be obviously impressive at a drop of a hat. After playing that solo for a while, some of the techniques, especially the use of tenths, became a little bit more fluid in my playing, and I could call upon them if I wanted. And some of the techniques that I found neat, but I might not choose to use all the time, I just kind of have available. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you go and write some solos this week over some songs you love, some songs for your band, over a backing track, whatever. Just write like a 8-bar, 16-bar, 12-bar, 32-bar solo of just the most wonderful thing you could possibly imagine. Trust me, you're probably going to end up having to work on it. And it'll only help your technique and musical ear. So thank you all very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, etc. Please ask questions. I love talking to you guys. And I'll see you all next week.